So I come from Cubase and I've got a fairly powerful system, etc. But when I'm just jotting down ideas, it uses a lot of power and I'm trying to convert over to solar. Currently I was using a kilowatt with all the gear, and I thought it's a fairly long drawn out process, you know, sort of designing new backgrounds for videos or e-learning material. And I don't really need to be using a kilowatt, so is there an alternative? And when I saw the Fantom with all the hands-on controls, nice weighty keyboard, really good sounds, and a built-in sequencer, I thought, fantastic, I'll get that because it only uses about 9 watts when you're composing, which means you can run it off a solar cell if you wanted to. There was a couple of niggles with the sequencer. Now I knew that with the sequencer you developed patterns, sort of a 1 measure up to 64 measures. You then chain the patterns together, had them into groups, and then chain the groups into a song. And using this method, you could have a really decent length composition. But one of the fundamental failings I found was that it seemed to be that if you made a mistake near the end of it, no matter what you did, it always seemed to have to play from the beginning for you to then hear what you've done. So the best way to do this is do an example. So if I go back to my basic view, firstly, remember that everything on this, everything including the sequencer, including the automation, is all stored inside a scene. So here's a scene. So when you've done everything, it's really important to go to the scene and then press write. That's really crucial. Otherwise, everything you've done will be forgotten. So first thing out of the way, let's go back to the pattern. So let's record a quick pattern and I'll show you what I mean. So press the record button. I've got 1 measure count in. I'm going to quantize. So put everything in time at a 16th resolution. I think I've got, at the moment it's a piano, that'll do. So let's do an 8 measure, let's do 8 measures of a pattern. So I've got it all set up. You can either press the start or you can press this one. So you can hear there, the pattern's in and it's playing. And obviously we could change the sounds if we wanted to. Right, where the fun happens, let's say we want to now edit that pattern, maybe we want to change a note in it. So you've got the pattern selected, edit, piano roll, and here it is. So we play it. And as you can see with this, I can see anywhere where it's playing, and I think, okay, let's change the ending. So I press stop, straight away back to measure 1. It always starts from measure 1. So you can move a note, so let's take off draw and just have a move. So that's moved a note. But in order to hear that change, I've got to start from the beginning again. And here it is. So let's suppose we want to do that last measure. So how do we do that? So what we do is quite simple. A user on YouTube, I'll put the link down below, suggested this and it was perfect. And it was easier than I thought. Basically with your pattern selected, loop settings, you can see we've got 8 measures. We want to do the final one. So we want to edit down to 1 measure and then want to move that along there. Now let's do edit, piano roll. You can see it's just highlighted the last one. So now we can and again, if you want to change the velocity, and so forth. And there you go. Once you've done that, it's just a question. Go back, go to your loop settings, make it the correct length, which is 8, move it back to the beginning, everything's visible. So once I found this out, it got hugely more easy. The thing to do, of course, is remember, once you've done all that, go back to your scene, edit, write. Otherwise, the minute you turn the system off, or if you even change to another scene, everything you've worked on is now gone. So it's a simple enough thing, but you'd be amazed how frustrating it was when it just seemed like I was locked in this loop that just went round and round. So anyway, hope that's helpful. It was to me. Thanks.